Now, German prosecutors have identified the 26-year-old suspect in the stabbing that killed 3 and injured 8. He's known as by the authorities as Issa al-Haj. Now, police say the man has admitted to the crime, with Islamic State terror group claiming responsibility for the attack. Of course, again, that attack killed 3 innocent people. A church service was held earlier in the city of Solingen for people to actually pay their respects on another tragic knife attack. Well, joining me now is the German journalist Rob Hyde, live from Hamburg. Rob, you're not actually German, so I do apologise for calling you a German journalist. You are a journalist in Germany, but not actually German. I did check that out earlier.
I've actually got dual citizenship now, so I'm both, so don't worry.
Well, there we are. Right. Rob, could you give us the latest then on what we're hearing?
Sure. Well, as you said, I mean, it's a appalling situation. So the attack happened Friday evening at around 9:37. And that was, as you said, in Solingen, which is in the federal state of North Rhine-Westphalia. Not a particularly well-known place, but 160,000 inhabitants, sort of the size of Oxford, I suppose. And it happened during the 650th anniversary of the town. And a band was playing, and the attacker then began stabbing people in the neck and murdered 3 people. So there was 2 men, one age 56, one age 67, and a woman age 56 who were murdered. As you rightly said, 8 were injured, 2 of them very seriously, and 2 of them had minor injuries, and they're now recovering in local hospitals.
Rob, there will be a fair few people looking at going back in time, not too far back, and looking at what Angela Merkel did in response to the crisis by Assad in Syria, and actually bringing a lot of people over from Syria. Do you think actually the rise of certain political parties in Germany can be directly linked to the anger that is felt in large parts of the country right now?
Absolutely. I mean, I've been here 20 years, and as you rightly said, so it was 2015 when Angela Merkel of the Conservative Christian Democratic Union then made the decision to let in. I mean, it was reported as being, as her saying, as many can come should come, but since then, I mean, this is a terrible event. Obviously, it's not been the only one, unfortunately. Of course, we had the famous Christmas market attack that was in 2016, which was also murderous. We had in 2016, so in the same year, we had an attack on a train with a man wielding an axe and a knife. In 2018, there was a man driving a van into a crowd in Münster. And these are all people who either were members of ISIS or had expressed sympathy for it. There was a knife attack in Hamburg in 2020, 2021 in Würzburg. There was another stabbing and a killing. So this is really a pattern of similar behaviour, and as you said, I think it has fueled support for parties such as the AfD, so the Alternative for Deutschland, which is particularly strong in the east. What was interesting when you mentioned Angela Merkel is that she was from the Conservative, so the Christian Democratic Union, a conservative party, but today Friedrich Merz, who's head of that party, has actually called for policies which are nothing like what Angela Merkel said. He's actually demanding that there be an outright stop on anyone from Syria or Afghanistan now coming into Germany.
Now, why then Solingen in particular? Is there something around what was going on in Solingen at that time, why it was targeted in particular, or do you think this was this premeditated, basically?
It's hard to say. I mean, it's not a particularly well-known place. I mean, it's famous for cutlery. It's called Die Klingenstadt, the city of the blades, maybe perhaps like Sheffield, if you like. It is, however, sort of around 25 miles north of Cologne, and that's got a very large uh, Islamic population, and there have been events there, obviously, about the New Year's attack and what happened there to the poor girls. So I guess you could speculate on them being some sort of link like that, but there's no confirmation of that. And even though, as you know, ISIS have officially claimed this murderous attack, the German prosecutors are being notoriously tight-lipped and saying this is still being investigated.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that it was a festival of diversity, wasn't it? Diversity. As soon as I read that, I actually thought I must be reading a fake report when I read that. And you can understand why, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, 700 children were supposed to have been going there as well. And this brings back eerie memories of something which wasn't that long ago, of course, with Taylor Swift and Vienna and everything that happened there. So it's chilling.
It absolutely is. So what do you think will be the political response to this in Deutschland itself? Do you think that there will be a clamour for more to be done? What will be the action here? Or will it be, well, let's not talk about it, let's talk about something else, as is, I think, in my personal opinion, all too often the case?
Unfortunately, that often is the case, and that in turn fuels all of this frustration. I mean, Markus Söder, he's the head in Bavaria of the Conservative Party, which is the Christian Socialist Union, and that's the sister party to the CDU. He's also called for this man to be deported immediately. No one else yet has made that claim. I mean, the president, so Steinmeier, has called for police to have greater powers, but hasn't specified what they are. But I do think it's quite telling, as I said, that Friedrich Merz, who's head of the Conservative Christian Democratic Union, he's now said that a call for a complete stop on people from Syria and Afghanistan coming. And if you contrast that to Angela Merkel, even though it's the same party, I think we're seeing a sense of people really getting that you need to toughen up if you're going to keep people happy. What's also very interesting, I feel, is that in Eastern Germany at the moment, which is going to have its elections, so in the federal state of Thuringia, just in a few days, the AfD, Alternative for Deutschland, who are anti-immigration, they're around 30%. It looks pretty clear that they're going to win that. But you've also got a lady from the radical left called Sarah Wagenknecht. And even she is now adopting pretty much the same policies when it comes to immigration, calling for a stop on it and for deportations and this type of thing. So even the left is now adopting these type of policies because they know that there's such a fierce demand for it.
Yeah.